Hello everyone and welcome to the Blueskills training program. I'm Isaac Gimberson and I'm your coach on this program. So this week we're going to be talking about self-confidence. Now what is self-confidence? Self-confidence is basically your belief in your abilities, your skills and your judgment. It involves having a sense of trust in yourself and feeling capable of handling life's challenges. It is also having a positive outlook on your potential for success. Self-confidence is an attitude that enables you to face new experiences, take risks, and then persist in the face of setbacks. There are two main types of self-confidence. We have low self-confidence and high self-confidence. What is low self-confidence? Low self-confidence is the constant feeling of self-doubt and the tendency to be passive and submissive. While high self-confidence is a high belief in oneself and in one's ability. Signs of low self-confidence. One is shyness. Okay. Two is communication difficulties. Three, social anxiety. Social anxiety is basically not feeling free to express yourself when you're in the midst of people or in a social gathering. Then lack of assertiveness. Lack of assertiveness is your inability to communicate your ideas, even when you know that there are better ideas than the ones available, right? So those are some of the signs of low self-confidence. How about signs of high confidence? If you're a highly confident person, then it is most likely that you feel comfortable expressing your opinions, right? It doesn't matter whether people like it. It doesn't matter whether they like it or not. You feel comfortable expressing your opinions. Secondly, you are confident in your abilities. When you're given a task, when you're faced with a problem, you have a can-do attitude towards it. That makes you a highly self-confident person. Third is highly self-confident people do not let challenges hold them back. Even in the face of challenges, they believe in themselves so much that they are willing to keep pushing and advancing. Next is that they treat themselves with love and respect, right? Highly self-confident people treat themselves with love and respect, even when they have failed, even when they're experiencing a setback. They don't call themselves names, or they don't allow negativity. They don't allow themselves to think negative about themselves. Okay, so they treat themselves with love and respect, and that is a very important quality or sign that the person is a highly confident person. Finally, highly self-confident people are not afraid to set boundaries, right? If people are crossing boundaries that you have set, a highly self-confident person is willing to express himself. He's willing to say, "Oh no, you have offended me in this way, or you have crossed the boundary I've set in this place, or this is what you did, and I don't like it." So these are some of the signs of a highly confident person. Now, next is what the impact of self-confidence on well-being. Okay, how does being self-confident impact you as a person and impact your well-being as a person? Number one, it gives you a greater sense of self-worth. Number two, you tend to enjoy life and activities generally because you are more involved, right? Low self-confident people usually hold back. Even when they feel like doing something, the low self-confidence in them does not permit them to engage, right? But highly self-confident people um, are always putting themselves out there. So they tend to enjoy life more and enjoy life's activities. Next is freedom from self-doubt. If you're highly self-confident, you don't doubt yourself. You don't even give yourself the opportunity to doubt yourself. Next is freedom from fear and anxiety. This is very, very important. There is a great relationship between low self-confidence and a lot of fear and anxiety. You're constantly afraid, will I fail? Will I succeed? Do they like me? Do they not? And all of that. But a highly self-confident person does not permit himself to even think about these things. They just go for it, believing that the best is going to come out of whatever they are engaging. Next is um, highly self-confident. When you're a highly self-confident person, you tend to enjoy your interaction more with people because you're not holding back anything and you're being your best self. Now, what are the factors that influence self-confidence? Okay, I'll quickly run through some of them. Number one is past experiences. Past experiences is one of the deepest um, um, factors that influences a person's self-confidence, whether you're a low self-confident person or a high self-confident person. And how does past experiences, for example, past successes or failure, past successes has a way of motivating you to go for other things, right? So it gives you the confidence to go. While meanwhile, past failures kind of affects your confidence and it affects the way that you're able to go after opportunities in the future. Then also upbringing or childhood. Children who grow up in environments where they are constantly supported, they are constantly encouraged and motivated to take risks and make mistakes tend to be highly self-confident than children who grow up in environments where they are not very exposed and then they are not allowed to make mistakes or they are usually punished or severely um, um, called out anytime they make mistakes, right? So past success, past failures, and childhood has a very, very strong influence or impact or as a, serves as a factor that affects self-confidence. Next is what? Social environment. Some people have found themselves, for example, in a workplace where they are allowed to make mistakes. They have a supportive team, right? They have supportive management team. They have some supportive colleagues. So they're constantly given the opportunity to take risks, make mistakes, and also get exposed to different things. And this has a way of building high self-confidence. Meanwhile, if you're working in an environment where you're constantly under tension and all of that, it has a way of affecting you and making you a low self-confident person, right? Then personality traits. Some people are what we call perfectionists, right? So if things are not perfect, then they are never good enough. These kind of people never have the sufficient confidence to put out their work or let their work be known. And therefore, they don't get any praises for anything that they do, despite the fact that they are doing a great work, simply because it's not perfect. So perfectionists tend to tend to have low self-confidence, right? So, um, then another aspect of personal trait is optimism, right? Some people are optimistic. What does it mean to be optimistic? You always believe that the best is going to come out of a situation or the best is going to come out of you, right? People who tend to have this disposition or this personal trait tend to be highly self-confident people. Next is physical appearance, right? Some people are not very comfortable with how they are. Someone has told you maybe you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too short, you're too tall, right? There's something that maybe someone has told you and it makes that you don't feel very secure about yourself. This has a way of affecting your confidence, have a way of affecting your confidence. So your body image or your physical appearance is a very important factor in either you feeling confident, highly self-confident, or feeling lowly self-confident. Then skill and competence. Skill and competence, basically people who are skillful and competent, people who have invested time in developing their skills and competence in a particular area, tend to have higher self-confidence than people whom have not exactly developed themselves in terms of skills and competence in their field. All right. Then mindset and belief. Some people have what we call the growth mindset. They believe that things can improve. They believe that they can improve. They believe that they can get better. And so they have the confidence to keep pushing and keep applying themselves, in order to grow. While there are people with fixed mindset, they just believe that it is what it is. Anything that is the way it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. Those people tend to have low self-confidence because um, they don't have the motivation to pursue greater things or to pursue growth. Um, then cultural and societal influences, right? Some people grow up in cultures where they are taught to go out, they are taught to be vocal, they are taught to be bold, right? To take initiatives. And some people grow up in cultures that are a little bit conservative. So they are taught to be more reclined, they are taught to be more withdrawn and all of that. And these types of cultures, the various types of cultures, though they have their strengths and weaknesses, advantages and disadvantages, but cultures have a way, the cultures that we grow in have a way of determining if we have high self-confidence or low self-confidence. Now, steps to developing self-confidence, right? How do you develop your self-confidence? Number one, you recognize and emphasize your strengths. Highly self-confident people focus on their strengths. Every human has strengths. Every human has weaknesses, right? But highly self-confident people focus more on their strengths, while low self-confident people focus on their weaknesses. And that is a very important point. Next is highly self-confident people, when they stumble on obstacle, they treat themselves with kindness and compassion. So if you want to develop your self-confidence, one of the things that you have to do is when you suffer a setback, when you make a mistake, treat yourself with love and respect. Don't call yourself names. Don't call yourself dumb. Don't call yourself stupid. Don't call yourself slow. Don't compare yourself with somebody else, right? And say, oh, if I was like this person, no. Highly self-confident people never ever compare themselves with anyone. So be kind to yourself, be compassionate towards yourself, even in the face of setback. Number three, set realistic and achievable goals. Now, highly self-confident people set goals and progress according to the goals. Some people set very high goals, and because they never achieve those goals, their self-confidence does not build. What highly self-confident people do is that they set achievable goals, right? So that the moment they achieve one, their confidence is built, and then they set a higher goal, and then they achieve it, and more confidence is built. They set another goal, but they make sure that the goals that they are setting are achievable and doable. This is one of the tricks of being a high self-confident person. Another thing that you need to do to build your self-confidence is learn or practice the ability to say no. When people make requests that is not convenient or make requests that are unreasonable, right? You have to learn how to say no. This is one of the traits of people who are highly self-confident, right? So, your ability to say no. Next is your ability to think and speak positive, and then remove negative vocabulary from your words. This is very, very important. Always think positive about yourself. Even when you are failing, still speak positive about yourself. Still think positive about yourself. Think, because remember in the definition we said highly self-confident people are people who have high belief in their abilities and their capacities. Nothing changes that, even if they are facing a particular setback, right? So negative, take away negativity from your thoughts and your words, and then make sure you are always positive in your thoughts and your words. Finally, be clear and direct. Learn to be clear and direct. People who are highly self-confident are people who know how to speak their mind. They may do it politely, but they say what they mean, and then they mean what they say. These are some of the steps to developing your self-confidence. Now I'm going to talk to you about utilization of self-talk and affirmation in developing self-confidence. In about three other trainings, we've talked about this concept of self-talk. Self-talk is basically, imagine a friend sitting down and you're having a conversation with that person, and maybe your friend tells you, oh, I just failed an exam. The kind of words that you tell the person, you tell the person, oh, this is not the end of life, you're going to do better next time, right? And another opportunity will present itself. Now, what you do to that friend is what you should do to yourself when you find yourself in that situation. So let's say, for example, you fail an exam or something did not go as planned. You sitting yourself down to say, Isaac, you're a very smart person. Yes, things did not go as planned and all of that. And these are the places where we made mistakes. But next time, you're going to do better. You see, what you're doing is you're talking to yourself. And most importantly, you're treating yourself with what? With respect and compassion, despite the fact that you're suffered a setback. Self-talk is very key to building self-confidence. And you have to start practicing that from today. Finally, I'll leave you with a reflection. How do you think that self-confidence can affect your life, your business, and your career? Thank you, and I'll see you next week.